Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about why I still drive my 2006 GMC Envoy XL. I get a lot of questions from my friends and viewers on why I still drive this piece of shit vehicle with over 450,000 kilometers. To make things clear, I don't think this is a piece of shit vehicle. In fact, it's a great vehicle and I'm very thankful to have it and still drive it. Hit that subscribe button and show your support to my channel. My channel has grown significantly and it's all thanks to you guys for showing your support. If you're looking for LED lights on your GMC Envoy or any other vehicle, check out Oxido LED lights and receive 15% off anything in stores when you use my promo code, which is GMC Lincoln. Let's get on with the video, shall we? People ask me, why do you still drive this old thing? Just scrap it and get a new SUV. You're making money now, just get a new vehicle and get this thing over with. Why do you still drive this ugly thing? You're spending so much money on gas. No one cares about this vehicle anymore. It's just a piece of shit. These are the kinds of comments I get regarding this vehicle. But today I'll talk about why you have to ignore the haters. Reason number one on why I still drive my GMC Envoy in 2025 is because of sentimental value. Once you have a vehicle for such a long time, it becomes a family member. And just like a family member, the older they get, the many more problems they have. We've owned this 2006 Envoy since new, back in 2006. I was 8 years old when my parents bought this. From what I remember, it was the coolest vehicle ever at school, as many families owned minivans back then, and a 7-seater SUV was very uncommon. At least at the elementary school I went to. It was definitely a flex for my parents driving this thing around back then, also a flex for 8-year-old me. I clearly remember the time when one of my classmates got in here and she was so shocked and wowed by the fact that the rear passenger door windows can open and close. Like I mentioned before, over 90% of families back then had minivans at my school. So if you know, many minivans from the 90s and early 2000s did not have windows that would fully open and close like a car or SUV in the second row. Instead, most had manual pop-out windows like the vents on the third row on this Envoy, but it was manual. So that was a shock for a lot of my elementary school classmates at the time. And 8-year-old me was very excited to show off the Envoy whenever my mom came to pick me and my friends up from school. This is the vehicle that my sister and I learned how to drive in when we were 16. That itself is a very cool memory, not to mention the countless road trips and cross-country trips we've done in this thing. It's just hard to get rid of this Envoy, but I understand that nothing lasts forever. There's an old saying, never forget where you came from. This is a reminder to be grateful for your past and to stay humble as you succeed. The Envoy is a reminder for my family of where we came from. I always like to reflect on my past, and the success I've achieved in my life and my family is because of the Envoy. It's taken us to places, signed deals, took us to school, university, and helped us progress in our lives. So I like to appreciate it for what it is. And I get it, it's not a sought after vehicle these days, but it sure is a good memory in my life. Reason number two, ruggedness. The Envoy is a rugged looking vehicle in my opinion. Most of the SUVs from the 90s and 2000s were very rugged looking, and the Envoy is definitely one of them. I've really gotten to appreciate the boxy, rugged looking vehicles, as the market nowadays is flooded with SUVs composed of smoother lines and performance-focused attributes. The only SUV I can think of that has maintained the boxy rugged look from the 2000s is the Lexus GX and the LX, and the Toyota siblings of those vehicles. Even the interior of the Envoy is rugged and easy to use, which leads me to my third point on why I still drive my Envoy, is because of its simplicity. This is a big one for me. My daily driver gets switched between my Lincoln MKZ and the Tesla Model 3, both of which are modern cars with modern tech. The Lincoln doesn't have physical controls for a lot of features, so you'll have to go through a screen menu just to turn on the heated seats. On the Tesla, everything is in the screen, so it's very annoying to turn on the HVAC controls and whatnot. I get so excited to drive the Envoy, because everything is well laid out and it's simple to use. No fancy touchscreens, the HVAC controls are just there. You just put it in drive using the manual gear shifter and just drive away. I say manual gear shifter because nowadays the gear shifters are buttons. You'll have to press a button to drive and a button to park and etc. Also, the simplicity has made me become a better driver, especially when I was a teenager driving this thing. There's no blind spot monitors or backup cameras here, so that forced me to check all my mirrors when backing up and lane changing. I can still parallel park this thing without a backup camera. Plus, I can back up our 26-foot travel trailer without having 360 cameras like in many modern day SUVs. Reason number 4 is reliability. The Envoy is an overall decently reliable vehicle. The engine is strong, both the 5.3 and 4.2. With over 450,000 kilometers, the two most major repairs done to this vehicle was a transmission rebuild in 2010, which was covered under warranty, and a valve covered gasket in 2020. The rest was all general wear and tear, like suspension, water pump, control arms, and things of that nature. In fact, the original water pump lasted 18 years with over 430,000 kilometers on it, which is quite a milestone. The best thing about the Envoy is that there are plenty of parts for it, both aftermarket and original. Even better is that many of the repairs and maintenance can be done by yourself, because this was a time when SUVs were built simple with less complex parts. Vehicle quality, however, has sure come a long way since the Envoy. But the Envoy and most other vehicles from the time were simply built and definitely a lot easier to work on compared to vehicles nowadays. Plus, there is just always something good about working on your own vehicle. With the Tesla Model 3, there's nothing to do really on it because there's a lot less mechanical parts, so it's just very boring to me. The ownership experience doesn't really feel that good, if I'm being honest. It's very hard to explain. Overall, I save a lot of money driving this old thing. There's no payments, insurance is only $130 a month. The average car payment nowadays are between $400 to $800. Let's say your car payment is $700. Times that by 12, that's $8,400 a year. This doesn't include gas, electricity, insurance, and maintenance. With the Envoy, I just paid for gas, insurance, and the random maintenance. The maintenance on the Envoy will never surpass $8,400. Last but not least, I want to talk about space. The Envoy has a lot of space compared to modern day vehicles. I was recently in a 2024 Nissan Pathfinder and I was so surprised to see how crammed it was. The Pathfinder and Envoy were direct competitors back in the day. The Pathfinder lost its ruggedness and interior space in my opinion. The Envoy can seat 7 adults without issues. And this is not even a full-size SUV like the GMC Yukon. Now it's all a compromise. I really like the new GMC Acadia, which is a successor to the Envoy, but I don't like the engine in it, which is a 2 or 4-cylinder turbo something, I don't know what it is, and the lack of space and towing capacity. There's not a lot of mid-size SUVs nowadays that have 6,000 pound towing capacity and enough room for 7 adults. You have to opt for a full-size SUV like the GMC Yukon, Ford Expedition, and whatnot. So the Envoy is just a sweet spot. The only SUV I can think of that can replace the Envoy in the future is the Dodge Durango, because it's very spacious, has a great towing capacity, plus it has really good engine options. The only problem is it's a Dodge, and reliability is a concern. but the current outgoing Durango has been in production since 2011 with minor tweaks and improvements along the way, so I'm hoping by now they should have perfected that SUV. Anyways folks, hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know your story with your Envoy in the comments down below. I respond to all comments, so share your thoughts. See you all next time.